Hey, this is Gordon for Inspiration Tips, and in this quick tutorial, we're gonna teach you how to use Substance Painter, since I've been using it lately for creating my texturing for my tutorials, and it is a powerful tool, and I think everyone should learn how to use it. So, as you can see here, this is an example that I've been working on recently, and in this video, this is actually geared towards people who do not know how to use this software and they are new to it, so they are beginners. So what I would say about it is that it is very powerful, and it's gonna allow you to create and get quick results with relatively small or short period of time, and very little knowledge about or experience about the software. So what you can see here is the menus of Substance Painter here on top, which is something that you are probably not gonna use so much. What you're gonna use a lot is what you can see here on the right. For example, these layers here and the properties of the generators and some of the tools we're gonna use. And here there are also, we can see go to views here. We can activate the viewer setting here, which is something that we're not gonna focus on too much, but I'm gonna tell you what there is. So let's deactivate this one here because it's not really that important. And the next thing is these materials here and all of these things that you can find here in these shelves. And what you're going to use too much, or the most important thing that you're going to use, is these materials here, especially these smart materials. These smart materials are something that you are gonna use a lot if you actually if you are planning to use Substance Painter, because they are gonna make the work or the process a lot easier. For example, I'm gonna remove everything here. Let's just select everything and remove it because I want to try something here. Okay, so for example, if we want to use, let's just say, this smart material here, which is machinery, we're gonna drop it over there to layers, and what Substance Painter will do is it will actually automatically apply it to the whole thing. As you can see here, the machinery smart material is applied to this lantern that we have here. I actually removed the glass in order to see what's going on underneath. So as you can see here, this is very quick. You can actually consider this a good result to a certain extent, and depending on what you want. And also you can, for example, if you are gonna use, let's just say another, for example, this steel gun material here. Okay, actually we need to go back a little bit because there is the material we created just actually went inside the other material, so we're gonna have to actually drop it right there, make sure it is on top. Okay, as you can see here, this is the steel gun painted smart material on top. We can also use any other material that we want to, and it's gonna apply itself the same on the whole thing. Alright, and you can also, for example, if there are also other ways in order to use these tools here. For example, there are just materials which are not smart in a way that they are kind of created in a way that is a little bit sophisticated, because as you can see here, as we open it, there are a lot of layers here, and layers inside this folder here. So it is a little bit complicated because it was created professionally, and we are just using it here in order to achieve our goals, and we want a quick result. So let's just say we want actually to modify this steel painted smart material, and we will use actually these sets of smart masks, which will work perfectly for certain for certain aspects of texturing. For example, if we want to add, let's just say, rust, and we will just drag it right there, and it will apply itself on top. Okay, as you can see here, this mask is gonna actually block out where this mask is gonna block out kind of certain areas where it's gonna interfere with the paint texture or the smart material, and it's gonna do a relatively good job. So this video is not going to I'm not going to explain to you everything in detail, but this is kind of introduction to what Substance Painter can do and what are the tools that you need in order to achieve those results that you want to achieve. And here also we have different brushes. For example, these brushes are actually going to help you draw on top of these surfaces. And I'll just change this brush. Let's change the stroke to something like this, and see if there is gonna be something that we can do here. For example, let's just say I will create another. Let's go with this golden material. We're gonna drop it on top, and we will start drawing on top of it. But of course, first we need a mask. We need a black mask. Okay, let's do it. As you can see here, as we start to draw on top of it, there is actually the mask that is going to allow us to do this, and the mask is actually going to allow us to mask all this kind of gold looking material, and it's gonna only show where we are gonna kind of do these we're gonna use these strokes, and we're gonna use the brush, except so all the areas are gonna be affected except where we are going to use the brush, and vice versa. Okay, we can remove this for now. And also you can also use some of these options here. We don't have the time to talk about these, and there are some alphas here that you can use the same. They do apply on top of the materials, and the same principle still applies. And on the left here we have one of the most important areas in Substance Painter, and I would say that this is the most important by far, and is going to determine whether you are going to be able to create the results or not, which is and this is where you're going to bake your textures. So if you hit this bake texture box here, you're going to see this window that is going to open here, and in this window you can see that these are all the materials you need to use in order to get the baking process done. And in order to do this, you need to actually open a your high definition mesh here, which is the high poly, and of course you're going to set here by mesh name, and you're going to set the anti-aliasing to and the super sampling to 4x4 is an overkill. I think 8x8 is an overkill, so 4x4 is going to be super enough. And here you can see that these are places where you're gonna set the high poly name, or just the suffix of the high poly and the low poly mesh. And there are a lot of options here that you can modify, and parameters that you can play with in order to get the baking process done. And I think I will do a specific video in which I will explain how to use the baking system inside Substance Painter, which is one of the best baking tools out there. I guess it is, if it is not the absolute best, because it is so effective and it is so easy to use. All right, so let's just say this is just an introduction to what we want to learn about Substance Painter, and this is actually here the display settings are going to allow us to use some effects post these effects are really cool because they're gonna allow us to actually get something extra after we apply textures and so on. And I hope you found this introductory video interesting, and probably I will do more videos if you let me know in the comment section below. I'll make sure that I will create some beginner tutorials about Substance Painter. And believe me when I tell you that Substance Painter is not that kind of difficult to learn. It's not like 3ds Max or Maya or any other standard 3D software. It is just something that you can use and learn relatively quickly, and it's gonna get you some cool results, and it's gonna be super amazing. It's gonna change your life if you are struggling with texturing. So without further ado, I will see you in the next one. Take care.